folks, this is Patrick, and I'm trying something new here just to see how it sounds, get a feel for it. So let me start over. Hello folks, this is Patrick, Hobbies and Collectibles. Hello folks, this is Patrick, Comics and Hobbies. Hello folks, this is Dale's Hobbies. This is Patrick's Hobbies. All right, I'm just trying to get a feel for it because, as I've said months ago, I am slowly trying to transition into a hobbies / collectors channel as opposed to a comics and collectors. I do realize that comics can be a collectible, and comics can be a hobby rather, but I'm trying to break away from comics, so I want to remove comics from the title of this channel. I'm leaning heavily toward hobbies. I want hobbies in the title. Anyway, more on that later. Okay, folks, this is the Carnage. I think I titled this one Grayskull Project. I think that was it. Anyway, this is the final episode of that short series. And let's do a 360 because once I get the run in my mouth, I always forget to do this. So let's do a 360. Then we'll come back and talk about what happened during the project. And that's where I get the title from for this series. And we are back where we started. All right, folks, this is the AAR for this series. During the AAR, I'll talk about what happened during the project, what I learned from it, what went wrong, what went right, that type of stuff. Now hold on, where's that pointer? I'll be back. The original plan was to, hold on, my turntable won't stop spinning. Won't stop turning, rather. The original plan was to use magnets, but after thinking about it, I decided not to, so I went with glue. So the legs and the arms are glued on, and the tendrils are not. In the tendrils and in the joints, I believe the ankles and right here at the wrist and the forearm, there is wire to give this some strength in case I ever drop it or anything. Hopefully the glue, the hot glue inside here and the wire will hold everything together. And as you know, I fill the base with plaster of Paris and hot glue. All right, let's talk about the mouth, then we'll go to the tendrils. All right, I'm back, folks. I wanted to remove that tendril so I could show you what I was talking about while I was talking about it. These tendrils fit a little loose when I inserted them into the figure. So what I had to do was add some epoxy right here. You might be able to see it. That going around right there, that's epoxy. And I think I used it on maybe one or two other of these holes just so that the tendrils would have a tight fit because they were a little bit loose. So let me put this back before I break it. Hold on, I'll be back. And speaking of the tendrils, one thing I changed about this is this tendril right here. Originally, this tendril, it came out somewhere over here at an angle like this, similar to this one. But I'm an asymmetrical person, folks. I don't like everything symmetrical and even and dress and all of that. I like things to be just odd and different. So I wanted to add it. Take two. So I wanted this to be a little bit different. I didn't want it to look the same on both sides. So I put this one coming over his head right here. And as you can see, I did add a little touch of orange on the edge of the blades. I just wanted to, again, I wanted to change it up, make it a little bit different. I haven't seen a lot of these models around, but I'm sure there are others, and I just want this one to stand out from any others out there. And let's talk about the mouth here. Hold on, let's get him in the light. I thought about going with the red mouth, but I have seen Carnage with the yellow mouth before, and I wanted to try that. I think I've used it in one or two other of my projects, but I just wanted to add a little bit of color to this because, as we know, Carnage does not have a lot of color. I mean, he's red, then he has the black, and sometimes the white teeth, and of course the white eyes. So I just wanted to add a little dash of color to it. I think it looks nice, though. It turned out okay. And that was a mixture of orange and yellow, just really bright orange and some yellow. Okay, what else? And I think that's about it, folks. Now, some things that I did, I don't know if I would consider this wrong, but some things I need to work on, put it that way. I need to work on those magnets. I really like using the magnets, but most of the time when I use them, I run into trouble. A lot of times when I use magnets, I mess up on the measurements, and then the part doesn't fit properly. So I have to remove the magnet. What else? Well, that was about it, I think, folks. So I'm not going to drag this out. I'm going to call this a wrap. And make sure you stay tuned. I have plenty more projects coming up. And let's take a quick glimpse of those. That is my B project right there. So that one is coming up. But that's going to require a lot of sanding. The gray stuff right there, that is epoxy, and that is hard as cement right now. So it's going to take a lot of elbow grease to sand that down. So I'm going to make that my A project now. This is going to become my B project, that crazy looking Carnage bust right there. And I chose that because, again, as I stated in previous videos, I want to do some quick, easy projects just to get some of this stuff out of the way. And coming up behind that bus will be the xenomorph right there. Yeah, he's hiding from you, but he's right there. He's coming up next after that bus. So as always, folks, thank you for watching this video, and thank you for supporting the channel. Bye.